What's up, guys? Prince Sports here. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe for that raw, uncut sports stimulus package. Now, say it can't be, man. It can't possibly be. The combination of weed and coke make my eyes bleed. Well, in that case, started smoking woos at 16. Who I'm talking about? None other than Manny Pacquiao. Okay, Manny Pacquiao openly admitted today that he used the drugs when he was young. He started out with weed. Okay, it's a drug, but it's not going to put you over the top, and especially in terms of your sport and just in your life in general. But then he said he started using crystal meth. Okay, and he was naive to using these drugs. Okay, crystal meth is a hell of a drug. Crystal meth is the drug that we got out here in Los Angeles with these crazy people talking to themselves. And, they full fiends. They full crack fiends. Okay? I'd be rich right now if I tell you how many times a fiend ran up to me and said, yo, you got that crystal meth? I like to buy some. Randomly when I'm outside, a group of tourists, from Europe and all this stuff. That's racially profiling, by the way. They come up to somebody and say, hey man, you know any place we could get some drugs, some crystal meth? So I understand and I know the value of how devastating that drug could be. So here's the problem with Manny Pacquiao, though. If you openly admit to doing crystal meth, dog, crystal meth, then you should have no problem doing steroids. This helps Floyd Mayweather's case big time. This helps Floyd Mayweather's reasoning for why he didn't want to fight Pacquiao to a certain extent. Now, it goes both ways. If you're going to sit there and say, hey, some people say, hey, if Floyd was that good, steroids or not, you should still beat Manny Pacquiao. Well, you know what? Nobody wants to go into a boxing fight giving the other boxer an unfair advantage. Just like basketball. Nobody wants to go into a basketball game knowing that it's an unfair advantage towards your opponent. In this case, super teams. But for boxing, it's a little more critical because your life could end in a boxing ring. You could die in a boxing ring. And if Pacquiao was using crystal meth, question is, how long was you doing it? Because you didn't say how long you was doing it. You just said you was doing it since 16. So when did you stop doing crystal meth is the question. Was you doing it as a pro in boxing? Because at the age of 16, you was already involved in the sport of boxing. You was already coming up, So how long was you still doing it as a pro? If you did that, then you had to have no problem taking those juice roids. So this definitely helps Floyd's case in a way, because Manny Pacquiao, this is not a good look. If you was gonna admit to doing drugs, dog, I mean, if I was you, I would never even admit to doing it at this case, because this damages your boxing legacy, so to speak. Now, I understand where you're coming from. You're going for president for your country. You admit, hey, I got to come clean with all my things that I did. So doing drugs was one of them. But you got to understand, in the boxing world, we're going to look at that completely different. All right? And what we should. Because this gives credence to all the people that was sitting there saying Pacquiao was juicing. Shout out to my man T. Because T brought this up about Manny Pacquiao juicing. Looks like he had the perfect insight. Whatever set off a red flag, the red alarm from him, he was right. He was right to judge Manny Pacquiao in that case. Because, dog, this is not a good look. How long was you doing all of this? It's no question now that there's a good chance that you probably did steroids. It's no doubt in my mind that you probably did steroids now. If you're willing to do crystal meth, you damn sure should be willing to do steroids. And you can use your gateway excuse. I was naive to it. I didn't know I was doing it. Yeah, okay. Like you didn't know you was taking crystal meth. That's like a cokehead saying, I didn't know I was stiffing coke. Come on, man. People, Prince Sports out.